In this video, we will try to understand terms like local variable and rules of how a function can access a variable. We have a function called sayHello, which has a local variable called username. And the reason I'm calling it local variable is a variable defined inside the function cannot be accessed from the outside. It will only be used inside the function only. So what if I go ahead and say console.log username? We go ahead and refresh the page. We can see the error saying username is not defined. And the reason for that is because the variable defined inside the function will only be available to be used inside the function. It cannot be used outside of the function. So that's why we are not able to access username that is defined inside the function. And what will happen if we call the function and store the value returned from this function into a variable called message and log message. Now if we refresh it, we'll see the message hello John. Because when this function is called, this function can use the variable that is inside the function, because that variable is only accessible between the curly brackets, and that is inside the function. Here, what will happen if we move this variable outside of the function? So now we move the variable outside of the function. What do you think will be the output of line number 12 and line number 14? Earlier, line number 12 was hello John, and line number 14 throws an error. Username is not defined. If we refresh it, we'll see hello John and John, and this is called outer variable. So here what happens, if inside a function you're using a variable name and that variable name is not inside the function, it will bubble outside looking for that variable. What it means is variable defined outside can be accessed inside, but variable defined inside cannot be accessed outside. And because of that, username is outside, so we can use the variable here, and even this function can use the variable username. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead define another variable. So here we have two username. One is inside the function and another is outside of the function. Now if we refresh the page, what do you think will be the output? We'll see the output hello Arya, that will be inside the function, but outside of the function will be John. And the reason for that is as soon as you call this function, the function will have access to a variable name username with a value of Arya, and when you say hello username, it will look for the variable username inside the function first, and only if it could not find it here, it will move out. Otherwise, it will just use Arya, and that's why we saw hello Arya. But in this case, you cannot go inside the function. That's why the value of username is John.